Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder, to a little bit of a first impressions and also a scene compilation in the SIDAM 25 Mistral. This is an Italian SPA at rank 7 with a battle rating of 10.0, which it shares currently with its predecessor, the OTOMATIC, which I think is in many situations better suited for the meta, and I will go into a little bit of detail why that is. This vehicle has absurd amount of limitations that I just didn't expect the way that it is. I don't know about anything about this tank from a historical standpoint, so I did not know what I was expecting. I got this vehicle fully upgraded, which is important, for a test drive by Gaijin, and I had a shit day today, so not really talking about this, but I just wanted to go home and wanted to have fun. And, after a short while, I was just like, what the hell is going on? Have I forgotten to play correctly? How does this work? And it turns out that it was not my fault. It's this vehicle's limitations. Both might be according to some historical limitations, but also to just limitations implemented artificially by Gaijin that make absolutely no sense. So, what is this tank? What is good? What is bad? Well, let's begin with the armor and its aluminum alloy. This will not really stop anything. A lot of parts are thin enough that even 50 cals can easily pierce it, not even mentioning missiles, bombs, or anything like this, or anti-tank rounds, whatever, from helicopters, planes, tanks, SPAs, you name it. So the armor is trash. Then we have the mobility, and this is where it goes really south. So first of all, the horsepower to ton ratio is roughly 15. That's not extremely terrible, but a lot of the main battle tanks are flirting with roughly 30 horsepower per ton ratio. Top speed 64 kilometers per hour forwards and 15 backwards. So that's not really bad either, huh? Yeah. But then it comes to actually playing this thing and going across a lot of the maps and the terrain. And this tank feels really awkward. It almost reminds me of the MX-10RC for the French. So more like a wheeled vehicle. Especially when trying to get uphill or, just to go over a ridgeline. It just can't. It's physically not able. It's not because it has such a bad horsepower to ton ratio, but because it's just, I don't know what's wrong with it, okay? It's just bad. On flat terrain, it's actually not that bad. And then we come to the weapon system. Oh boy, the weapon system. Yeah, I hate KF50s, I really do. And that was actually the initial intention to play this vehicle, to figure out if it is a hidden gem, if it is like the Edits, or if it is like the Tunguska. But no, it is significantly less capable, which comes again largely down to the armament. So let's start talking about this. So first of all, we have 6 Mistral SATCP missiles, air-to-air missiles, but they are mounted on a tank and they behave like air-to-air missiles. So with them we have 1000 meters per second maximum speed on the trajectory, 2.65 kilograms explosive mass, and then weapon lock range in rear aspect 5.5 kilometers, in all aspects, especially frontal aspect, only 3 kilometers. So that is not really all that great. Then we have 4 25mm Oerlikon KBA cannons, and when you are fully upgraded, including the tier 3 M791 APDS rounds, you have only 660 rounds of ammunition. With the stock M792 high explosive incendiary tracer shells, which are self-destroying, they have 1100 meters per second muzzle velocity, which is great, but they only have 3 millimeters of penetration because of 32 grams of explosive mass. So that is a limitation. And again, only 60 rounds of APDS. You really have to watch out for that ammunition supply. Now, the self-destroying aspect gets actually featured in this scene because the Painkiller 11 player here was in the MI-24D and he was 50 meters outside of the maximum range of the 25mm shells. Look at this. This is a recording in the replay. And as you can see, if we get closer in just a moment, you can see me in the background there. I am 3.55 kilometers away. That's 50 meters outside of the self-destroying range of the high explosive shells. He also was just half a kilometer outside of the locking range in front aspect of the missiles. And then the missiles themselves. They are very often unreliable. It's way too easy to dodge them, and you cannot manually launch them. And they get distracted by everything, by missile launchers, by flares, and again, you cannot manually guide them in, unlike with the Edet, or the Tunguska, or the Flakrakts 1, or the Roland 1. And again, with the automatic, doof, 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 dead. And also, the automatic has radar, which this one doesn't have. Yes, I kill him here with the guns, but again, look at this, how the missile was distracted. Yes, there was the sun in the vicinity, but not in the direct line of sight. And it first got distracted by the flares. Another significantly better example is this here. I could range find this guy and take him down by the guns, but I thought, a missile kill would be safer. But then the automatic flare disposal kind of saved him here. What is this? Is this aircraft carriers in World of Warships? Automated anti-everything? No. This is War Thunder. Clearly a better game, right? No, it's not. To be honest, it's really cool versus those jets. If you get the IR lock in, if you're not really a jet player, but you kind of want to have this feel, this is it. But you cannot really stop the IR tracking sound. Okay, once you activated it, it only gets deactivated once you launch a missile. There is a trick though. There is a trick. If you move and aim at the sun and shoot at the sun, you're not launching a missile because you can't, because you have to be stationary, which is a further limitation, but then at least the AR tracker is off. However, there are certain circumstances when there is no sun, when you really can't use this trick, like when there are thick clouds, right? Or when you have one of those beautiful night battles. And then the nightmare really begins, because, well, you actually have no night vision device. Don't believe me? Well, let's just kill here these helicopters with the guns after a missile hit and enjoy the night battle. This tank has no night vision device, and you have to play way too often in night battles versus enemies that have night vision devices, infrared lighting or thermal imaging, whatever. You have just no real chance in this environment. And again, this is deeply frustrating. So let's sum up this tank. So survivability and armor are really trash, but that's kind of to be expected. Then there is the mobility. Again, it drives a little bit more like a wheel tank without the maximum speed, but with the limitations when it comes to inclinations, when it comes to mud, etc. Then we have no working radar, we have no smoke, we have no night vision device, we have very limited anti-tank capabilities. The high explosive shells stop working after 3.5 kilometers. The rangefinder only goes to 4.5 kilometers. Then on top of this, the missiles get very easily dodged by helicopters with flares, or just simply range, because the maximum range for lock-on is 5.5 kilometers, and in all aspects it's only 3 kilometers, and even a direct hit doesn't guarantee you the kill. Most of the time yes, but not all the time, and that again gives your position away, so you need to stay around caps to resupply your ammunition, and sometimes you really need a lot of it. So you can see that this tank, or this SPA, has more limitations that it brings to the table. I would love to play the automatic right now to just give you the comparison, but honestly, this tank is not worth it. And for example, you can only restock all the missiles at once, not one by one. So you have to fire all of them in order to get them all back, not one by one. And also they are really, really badly modeled. Sometimes you get people that are really unaware, and in fact the battle that I'm showing you is down to the perfect possibilities, the perfect enemies that are unaware of me, that make it easy. And this battle alone took me 20 minutes of extremely careful positioning, of just fully situational awareness, and also my team was playing really well. And again, a little bit of luck. So all those things together result in this being the very best battle that I had. Where, as you can see, I killed 2 aircraft, so 1 aircraft and 1 helicopter, and 3 tanks with 1 belt. Yes, it is possible, and you get then a somewhat decent result of 42,000 civilians and 9,100 RP. But honestly, this is an exceptionally rare example, and that is indeed the best that I could do with this tank. The automatic, same battle rating, vastly superior in the current meta. And this is sadly not a hidden gem, but just a hiccup that just sets you back 1,000,000 civilians and nearly 400,000 RP. That's it for me today, so thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I thoroughly hope that you enjoyed this video and that you kind of now know what to expect from this vehicle if you have planned to research it. And as usual, give it a like if it did, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other on the ways, in the skies, and on the battlefields of War Thunder.